Hey Ian, how's it going?
Good afternoon, my man. Yeah, all is well, all is well. Happy to see you again. Sun's
Happy to be
out,
here again.
spring is around the corner. Everything goes smoother. Getting out of bed in the morning gets a little bit easier. People are a little bit happier. So I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Man, talk about yourself. We have rain here. It's been raining all week. It's non-stop. It's super cold, super humid. But yeah, winter's over, so that's great news. Today is the last day of
Barcelona,
winter.
man. Barcelona.
So,
It's
yeah, it's just tropical weather.
exactly. Okay, man, here
Mm.
we go. So, as the no-code revolution and the no-code war rages on, we try to cover all the aspects and all the updates, the major updates of the platforms that are involved. Predominantly, we focus on Webflow. Last time we talked about Webflow's new AI site builder. We reviewed it, we roasted it. It was a bit of a mixed bag. But there's one more thing we need to cover, and that's the Figma to Webflow feature that has been in Webflow for a while now, I think for a year or so, but they recently
Yeah.
did a major update.
Mhm.
The way I see it as a noob, basically, as a non-technical person, is that they are trying to counter Framer, who are taking the approach of, okay, you design it and then it gets instantly developed, basically, for that integration. And yeah, with Figma to Webflow, they are doing something similar, but in a different way. Now, my question to you is, have you already been playing around with the latest update of that feature?
So yeah, this plugin has been out for the past 2 years. The Figma to Webflow plugin. So it's a Figma to Webflow plugin on Figma, and then a Webflow app on Webflow, and then they synchronize between each other basically.
Got it.
I've been playing around with the new update. I've been playing around from the start since it first got released. At the beginning, there was a lot of limitations. There was a lot of feedback. Not a lot of people liked it. However, the recent update, I've been using it, and it's really, really nice. It's very powerful. Not in the sense of copying the designs themselves, and I think they're a long way from beating Framer in that. However, it's really good when it's copying styles or variables. And say I have my designs already set up on Webflow, and then between the Figma and the Webflow, I can synchronize styles and variables. Say the designer made changes on the color, I can synchronize that easily, or I can get updated on it on Webflow, and then accept or reject the change. And I see this as a huge improvement from where the plugin was in the first place. Again, I still far from beating Framer. Framer is much more design intuitive tool, and it's all in one. In this case, I'm using more than one tool with some plugins. However, it's a move in the right direction, let's say, from Webflow.
Okay, so I have a question for you then. So do you see it as a useful tool for designing and building website, or is it more a tool for updating and improving an existing website?
So I would see it more useful in the beginning phase, or let's say the design is ready and I'm copying it to Webflow. That first bit, that first copy, let's say you're copying the style guide, especially the style guide, is going to speed up that process for sure. This tool would help, would speed it up, and would improve the communication between, say, designer and developer, if those are two different people. However, when the project is already done, and we're going to see this on a already done project, which I have a template that I've been working around with. It seems like when the project is already done and you're doing this in between, it's going to create some extra styles, say extra variables, or there might be some extra files that you wouldn't need. So to answer your question, I see it more useful in the beginning phase. In that beginning phase, beginning setup, you set up a style guide, super useful.
All right. Okay. Well, you mentioned that you prepared something, so feel free to share your screen and walk us through it.
For sure. Okay, so I'm going to share a screen. So the Figma, as I mentioned, this is a Figma to Webflow plugin. This is on Figma's side, so you get it as a plugin on Figma's side. And I've been checking out the comments, and there are 439 comments, and a lot of them are problems. And you can see that this tool has been out for a while, and it's still in an ongoing phase of iteration. They do respond to comments, so that's great. However, it still needs a lot of work to get to where they want it to be. However, I'm just gonna give you a quick demo of this. So I have this template. This is a template that I got from Bricks. So Bricks are they make templates for Webflow. So this is the Figma file, and as you can see here, I have local styles, I have variables, and I have the relevant Webflow design for this file. So this is the Webflow part, and it's pretty much the same. However, I believe Bricks didn't build this using the plugin, so we're going to see how we're going to be able to synchronize between this and the Webflow project. So if I right-click and go to the Figma to Webflow plugin, you can see the plugin here. It loads, and you can see I can copy 3 types of elements, let's say, from Figma, and that is layers, variables, and styles. Now, layers is the one that has been initially released. Wasn't that successful. There was a limitation to it. But basically, you select something and you copy it to Webflow. It didn't, again, there is a lot of limitation to it. For example, the image sizes, the image types. Sometimes you need to, all the times you need to set it in auto layout, which is something that is not very designer friendly, I would say. However, in the sense of variables and styles, these are working really well. So say, for example, in here, I have these styles that are headings, some text, and I want to synchronize those to Webflow. So I go here to the variables, I select the ones I want, sync to Webflow, syncing styles, and then I go back to Webflow. Here, we go to Webflow apps. We've been familiar with this. We've done it a few times. And then on the Figma to Webflow plugin, Webflow app. As you can see, I've been testing around this a little back. But as you can see here, this is the update I sent 13 seconds ago, and it says ready to import. And I can see I have 16 styles. I can open it. So this is me communicating with the designer. Say I'm the designer in Figma, sending me these stuff. I go here, I check it out. Okay, I can choose the ones I want, the ones I don't want, and then I can import them. Import, great. I have them here, so I can view them. Let's say I have heading H2. So if I go to my styles, I write H2, I can see that it's right here, text headings H2. Now, in the sense of variables, this is working even better. So say I'm copying these 2 variables. So I have these 2 variables here. They're basically just colors. And I'm going to synchronize those to Webflow. Now, if let's say, so I synchronize those to Webflow. Now I think I already have those variables. So if I go to my variables, I can see them here. So Figma variable color and figs. So this one is blue, this one is in green. Now say the designer decided to change, let's say the variable from blue to, let's say, red. Now it's red. Okay. And then he's sending me this update, so I can update it on my side. So he goes to the Figma plugin. He sends out the red, synchronized to Webflow, and it's synchronizing. Now I am on my Webflow side. I can just check, okay, there are two ready to import. I can open it, and I can see what changed exactly. The demo effect. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, it's still not as optimized as it should be, but
So what happened there, Yar? Because that is what I'm sort of looking for. Like, how smooth is it? How seamless is it? Right? How intuitive is it? So what happened there? Yeah.
So I synchronized, and this is supposed to show up here, and it's supposed to tell me, okay, the blue is now red. However, this didn't happen. Let's try to refresh. So I'm going to refresh the project and see if this works out here.
Maybe a bit of lag or something.
Yeah, so again, this is because we're using multiple tools. We're using basically 4 tools right now, like 2 plugins and 1 tool. So we're going to see if we click on the launch. Okay, so let's see if this changed here. Didn't change yet.
No.
So as you can see, that this shouldn't happen. I mean, the idea is that I get a variable, I can be able to change it, and so now we change those two colors and be able to synchronize it with my Webflow project. However, if this doesn't work, still not a very reliable reliable tool. So let's synchronize this time. Let's hope it works this time. We look for this. Okay, this time it worked.
Yeah,
great.
There it is.
All right. So as you can see here, it's telling me, okay, the blue changed to red, the green changed shade from this green to this green. Do you want to make these changes? Okay, import these changes. And now if I go to my variables, I can see them, they're changed here.
Got it. So for example, if your plan was to change the blue buttons to red, you can,
exactly.
How would you go about that?
Exactly. So here I can set up the variable to be, say, fig variable color. And now it's the red color. Again, if this happens, say, let's try it one more time to change. Let's say back from red to blue. Yeah, okay. So let's try to change now again. And now that I have the variable set on my button, I can just click here. I can go to, let's say, we're going to make it purple. And then I'm going to close this. And then, of course, we're going to synchronize it from Figma. So we go to variables, and you can see it's purple here. I can sync the two variables. Now, I didn't change the green one. So we're going to see if I didn't change, what's going to happen. So ready to import. I click on it. So as you can see, I didn't get the green one, which is great because I didn't change that one. I'm only getting the red to blue. I import, and as you can see, the button already changed to blue because that's using the variable in question. Pretty cool.
Nice.
I think it's pretty cool. Apart from the lag that we just saw, I think it's a very cool tool. It could be very helpful, you know, like in these cases where I know this happens between designers and developers. I've been through it. Let's say the shade of blue changed. Now it's like lighter blue. Something that might be overlooked by a developer. However, as a designer and the creatives, they want to send this update to me. So using such a tool, it will be easier to communicate on those.
Yeah, you're removing some friction. They don't have to send you the exact color code or something via Slack, and then you can. It's just a matter of you see it basically pop up in your Webflow environment.
Exactly, and I can see and I can select, of course, what changes I get. So I get this list of changes, and I can select which ones I want and which ones I don't, and I import them. I think this is really cool.
Nice. So you mentioned that there are a lot of comments. Of course, Webflow has a very active community. You're part of it. We are part of it. So what are the most common points of critique on the plugin? What is still not perfect? What should be improved according to the community?
So a lot of times it's link unsuccessful. The copied elements are not fully successful. Sometimes some stuff gets missed on the way, especially in the layers, which we didn't see now because it's very complex. However, in the layers, a lot of times things get lost. So most of the time it's on that. So you see nesting layer. This guy wants a tutorial. But a lot of them is about the layers. And so something went wrong, communicating with our servers. So, and as we just saw, and there was some sort of a bug between the synchronization.
Yeah.
So I think what Webflow needs to do in this sense is just really focus on this tool. I mean, this tool is very, very useful for the users of Webflow because a lot of Webflow users do rely a lot on Figma. We do rely a lot on our designers on Figma, or whether we are the designers, we are the same designer developer, we still do rely on Figma. Also the clients, can have more flexibility when working or commenting or seeing changes on Figma than on the website, because on the website there's a lot more to than just the design and the responsiveness, functionality, and all that. So in my advice, if Webflow are hearing this, guys, please
They are
push
listening.
on
They are
this.
listening.
Push on this. This is very important. This is very important. This is very useful, and it can really up the production time or the stuff that we do on Webflow.
Cool.
Yeah.
What more, Yar? What more would you like to see in the next update, the next major update of this functionality?
Well, first of all, bug fixing. I mean, that's number one. Make sure that this is smooth. This is just like butter smooth when synchronizing between the two. The second one, I mean, of course, once this is ready to go, especially in the sense of layers, I expect to see more AI involved in this workflow, perhaps helping with translating the designs from the Figma style or the Figma element components to something that is Webflow related or Webflow structure. You know what I mean? So it's instead of like having it frames, and on Figma it's called frames, we'll have it as div blocks structured in the correct way on Webflow.
Right.
I believe an AI tool within this could make this happen. However, there's still some time to get there.
Exactly, because as a developer, of course, you also have to interpret the design and see how you have to technically, implement the creative ideas of the designer. And I can imagine that an AI basically takes away a little bit, it takes over a little bit of the interpretation from the developer of the design and sort of makes the right choices right away. Probably also following best practices in terms of, website performance. I can imagine that would be the next big step for this.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that's of course there is a method to go through this, and this method can be taught to the AI. Okay, if you see these, I mean, Webflow uses the box model, so everything is in boxes basically. So if the AI can understand the design and translate it to boxes, it can easily implement it on Webflow. Also, I see Reloom has done a great job with their library of components and how you can copy between their components directly to Webflow, or even their Figma. They have a Figma plugin, and you can copy between that Figma plugin to your Webflow project. They have done, I think, a better job at that. Still, again, not 100%. I think their AI site builder is much better. However, we see some tools going in that direction, and that's the ideal scenario. Would be like, okay, see this design, give it to me in Webflow, and then perhaps at least the base, and then you iterate on it. Okay, give me the base, and then I'll iterate more.
You can focus more of your time and energy on the things that really make impact, like crazy UX animations and
exactly
and stuff that really moves the needle. Yeah, I get that.
Exactly.
Okay, cool, man. Thanks for demonstrating. It's nice to see this all evolving. Anything else on your radar for this week? Anything else you want to talk about or that got your attention?
Well, I'm on the lookout, but I've been testing out some new features on, again, Cursor. I've been using a lot of AI on my websites. I've been trying out new things, so perhaps we'll be seeing some nice use cases coming up. Been using a lot of AI in the workflows that I'm doing now. So if you guys didn't watch the last episode, do check out the Cursor episode. I think that was one of the most value we gave, because it's very valuable. This tool was very valuable to me. I'm still using it.
Got a lot of love when we shared it, man. But have you been vibe coding with Cursor as well, Yar? Everybody's vibe coding nowadays.
Yeah, vibe coding. Like all the weekend I was vibe coding until like very late at night. You lose your time and you see yourself vibe coding. I made a video as well on vibe coding, basically how to do that with Webflow. But I think this is something that is going to be we're going to talk about a lot of this in the future.
Yeah, man, I look forward to it. But I also read that a lot of people lost their work in Cursor or something. Something went wrong there.
Yeah, I mean, it does delete. I mean, the new agent, because now they made it agent by default. So when you go on Cursor, it's agent by default. An agent does delete. It goes through old other files. It can delete. It can add. Sorry to say, I mean, if you lost your files, if you don't have a backup, that's a problem. But Cursor do deletes. I mean, that's something to check. However, it always tells you, okay, this is the changes I'm gonna do before you accept them. So it's always like it's a back and forth thing. So
it's a skill issue, is what you're really saying. Skill issue.
Yeah, skill prompting
back up
issue.
Your stuff.
Always back up your stuff. That's number one rule. So yeah.
All right.
But,
well, listen,
but
man.
we see a lot of vibe coding coming up, so that'll be coming up soon.
All right. Well, we keep our audience posted on that. Thanks, man. It was a pleasure. Good to have some more context with this Figma to Webflow update. Make sure that if you like this video, make sure that you like and subscribe to the Noco YouTube channel. More stuff coming up. We do these bi-weekly 20 minutes. We have a lot of clips and shorts from our other podcast, and some in-depth videos from Yar that we present a new one every month. Plenty of ideas. So subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. Yar, thanks.
Thank you so much.
On to the next one. All right, man. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.